Hello, welcome back everybody. This is Mystic Games again, part 4 of my Against the Storm informational videos. Today we're going to be using the Hooded Horse wikis for Against the Storm that they have set up. This page is actually really nice for the traders. If you guys don't want any spoilers, some of these guys get unlocked. Like, I don't even have access to some of these guys. To me, it's not a big deal. I'm far enough into the game where I'm not too worried. This is informational. And I just want to help new players. You start off with only a select few of these. I want to say it's the first 3 if I remember. And then you unlock the others a little bit into the time. So it will tell us exactly when you unlock them. So for Sahilda here, she's a regular trader. You unlock her at level 1. She's kind of like your... I want to say she's the all-around one. These are kind of the things you can get from her. I would generally call her, the overall well-rounded one. She has a lot of very good upgrades. She has blueprints and perks. She has like +1 to mushrooms, which is very powerful if you get the mushrooms in the farms. You also have clay, grain, and coats. Coats are really good if you have a bunch of humans. And then these are her potential goods. And these are what she's guaranteed to have. All around, she's pretty good. Some of my favorites from her are the coats, the mushrooms, the grains maybe, depending on the farm I have. But I try to get the herbalist hut generally. The 1 resolve to all house villagers is good. 10% speed is really good. You can see me highlighting them on the side there. So yeah, she has some pretty good ones. The biscuits in the rain mill and the kiln can be as good as well, depending on if you don't have access to biscuits. Zhorg is next. He's your cook. Now this guy is my favorite when I have like the human beaver harpy build that I talked about in my last video. Because he provides a lot of upgrades to farming. So he's great for that. If you get her too and you're able to purchase coats or even the 1 mushrooms and you have access to the farming thing that I was talking about, the upgrade, which is something I'm going to talk about in Cornerstones at some point, that's awesome. So then if you get him to show up and you get herbs and you have the herb garden, what I like to do is turn herbs on in the herb garden, turn off the roots, and then get the mushrooms if possible. If I roll that, I've done it a couple of times and it's insane. Because I can pretty much make flour with the mushrooms plus eat the mushrooms. The mushrooms are just used in a lot of other things. And then the extra herbs is crazy. He can also increase the storage of all your buildings, which is pretty good. The carry amount for farmers, amazing. Harvesting rate and planting rate right here. Sorry. And this one, if you have access to fertile soil and you're in like a map that has average or higher, especially if you have humans, I highly recommend if you get him and he has one of these 2, I'd actually say the harvesting is more important than the planting, just so everyone knows. But if you have access to both and you have the extra money, fantastic. Now, if you got the combo I was talking about where you have the herb garden and you got the cornerstone for mushrooms, and he has this ability, 1 insect for every 2 mushrooms, it's amazing. Because you're just going to start producing insects like crazy. Especially if you can get some other cornerstones to upgrade your production, or not, I shouldn't say your production, but your increase in the base value of how many herbs and mushrooms you get. 15% trader arrival is really good as well. And then he has access to a bunch of blueprints, herb garden, farm, plantation. He's good pretty much any time to get. If you get him early and you didn't luck out and you didn't get a farming building, he has access to those blueprints, so you might get lucky and get one there. Okay, so the beaver is the next one. He's unlocked at level 3. I thought he was a beginning one, but I was wrong. He's pretty early on, though. So he's good in the fact that he gives you access to generally a lot of different materials. It's hard to explain, but pipes, parts, wildfire. He has all the upgraded materials, planks, bricks, and fabric. He has crystallized dew, which, as I said, for foxes can be hard to obtain. And he doesn't always have it, but he generally will. For buildings over here, he has +1 to stone, which I like. That's about it for his perks there. I like the lumber mill, and I like the carpenter. I think they're both good buildings. He has wood cutting speed, 15%. That's pretty good. He has 5 to the carry amount. That's pretty good. And he has a reduction on hostility, and that's pretty good as well. So, obviously, you don't get to choose what you're going to get, and you have a limited space, but he has some pretty good random ones. As I said, my favorite is probably Zhorg for his perks and blueprints, though. So, at 6, you get Sothur the Ancient. I'm trying to think of what I like whenever I see Sothur coming, because he does have some good stuff. We're mostly going to discuss the blueprints and the perks. Like, you should have some idea what they carry. The issue is sometimes you will not get everything on here because he only has a potential to carry it. So you're only going to get a certain amount. But pipes are usually good. I usually buy pipes. I don't like to make them if I don't, unless I really have access to mines or something, but I'm very rarely trying to mine. I like to get increases that help my basic resources most of the time. Anyways, so for buildings, he doesn't have anything that amazing. I think the alchemist is alright. He has a +1 to mushrooms. Every time you produce 25, I think it is. You just can't see it there. That's really good again with the build I was just talking about. I've actually literally got this perk with the one that gives you the one with the 1 insects and for every 2 mushrooms. And then I got the advanced herbalist, so it's like 50% more production of goods. It doubles them, put 1.5s them. And then I got like a +1 to mushrooms on top of it. It was just insane. Like, I got like the perfect, like, I had 2 herb gardens, and I actually went pretty late in that game. I probably wish I could show you guys the map. But I was like producing an insane amount of mushrooms and herbs every year. Like, I had more people than I should have been able to feed, and it was very easy to feed them. Anyways, 10 carry weight is always good. It's only for builders, but it's still decent. 20% woodcutter speed's good. Minus 50% hostility. 25% hearth fuel consumption. Oh, this is what I like. I was trying to think why I really like this guy. He has season increases for drizzle, clearance, and reduction in storm. I really like to get the season increase in the clearance duration if I'm running farms, because it just gives me more time to pick all my food, which, as I said, I can get an insane amount of food. There's been playthroughs where I get like an absolutely nuts amount of food, so I really do like having the 25% clearance duration increase. For the lore keeper here, Vliss Greybone, he's at level 9. He has tools and stuff like that. He's good for building stuff. That's generally the kind of stuff he carries in the basic nutshell. He gives increase in planks, increase in fabric, which is really good. Or I should say he has the possibility of giving those. And then he has increase in pickled goods, which I like. Buildings, I like the smokehouse. Trying to think of the other 3 here. Kiln's okay, I think. 1 resolve for housed villagers. 10% movement speed's always good. 20% hearth fuel consumption's good. The coats, if you, again, this is a very, like, to the humans, beavers, and harpies build, if you have minus 30% break time when using coats, and you have coats in production for all of them, that's a good upgrade, because it just reduces the time they're going to take breaks. And then minus 50 hostility is always great. That will just keep you from losing resolve, and it will keep you from getting them really upset during the storm. I almost always grab this if I have the money. Anyways, then we have Sir Renwald Redmane. I'm trying to look at all the things. He has 3 to biscuits, 3 to pies. Those are all good. 2 to vegetables is good if you have the small farm. He has access to all these specialty buildings. These are going to help with your resolve and needs for the races. He also has the +1 grain. I want to say everything's 25 times now. I think they changed it. But that's good if you have a small farm. Villager speed on roads is okay. Trader arrival is good. Faster trader arrival is better. And then he has the minus 50 hostility, which is really good. I've gotten this one a bunch. I do not like this one. I actually hate that one. But the packed goods isn't bad either. So then you have this Stormfeather, which I have not unlocked Stormfeather yet. So I can tell you guys right now what I think about her by looking at her blueprints and perks. Again, as I said, most of the time these are important to have some idea of what she's going to bring. But I focus mostly on their blueprints and perks, and then that's kind of how I decide if I like them. Brick's good, coat's good, fabric good, jerky good, porridge good, skewer's good, vegetables good, brickyard's good, herb garden's good, lumber mill's good, weaver's good. So she gives you access to a lot of the tier 3 production buildings. So if you have the money and you're able to buy them from her, that's pretty much like a free better production, which is always great. Oh, she has the 10 jerky for 10 pies. Amazing. That is such, oh my god, that's so good with when I was talking about the humans, beavers, and harpies build, because they need pie. If you had the pie and biscuits building, which is the bakery, and then you're going to be pumping out free jerky for your harpies, that's just fantastic. She has additional trade route, that's super good. She has the 1 house to resolve, that's super good. And then she has the coat thing. So she's pretty good. She's pretty good. Less on perks, but more on blueprints and upgrades for your buildings. So she's good for that. And then we have the Warlander, which I don't think I've unlocked this guy yet. So quickly, he just carries goods. Interesting. He must have more than that. I have a feeling that there's probably more to him. I haven't unlocked him, so I can't talk to you guys about him. But having ancient tablets is pretty good. Or no, this is what he buys. It doesn't even tell me what he gives. If he doesn't get blueprints, that's horrible. Oh, he sells mystery boxes. So that's like his blueprints. These seem horrible. You're taking a gamble, and you don't know what you're gonna get. So, again, spoilers. Nobody wanted to see those, so it's very interesting. Though I don't think I would like to get this guy ever, because this would just make my life harder. I feel like getting him in my rotation. Anyways, there's also Glade Traders. This was something I was gonna bring up in my video. And when I opened this link and I saw that they were actually in here, I was like, this is fantastic. We have Soul Gazer. Sometimes when you open a small glade, you'll find this guy. He has access to all these upgrades. Sea Marl's pretty good. Cornerstone reroll is good. Hostility reduction is good. And he has some decent items. You have also Ruin Scale, who I believe is a shaman. Yeah, shaman. He has oil, crystallized dew, which, depending on what you're going, can be good. He has a couple blueprints. He has the herb garden, which I like. 50 rainwater tank capacity is good. 50% or not 50%, sorry, minus 50 hostility is good. And minus 30% abandoned cache working time, that's pretty good too. That'd be really good with foxes, because that would just make that insanely fast. I'm not sure how this works. I'd have to actually use that, but that seems like it could be really strong. And then we have Blight Claw, who is +1 to clay, that's pretty good, +1 to leather, that's pretty good, +2 to porridge, that's pretty good. And he gives you access to camps in the small farm, which is good. Also, the 1 insects for 2 mushrooms, which is good. Trader arrival speed, good. Minus 50 hostility, good. That's okay. So yeah, he has some really good stuff, though. If you got this guy early, and you were able to get the roots or the pack provisions, that would be pretty good, too. So that's all the traders, guys. I just wanted to do this video to kind of go over all the traders with everybody. There's a lot more, and you guys can see the link above, because I have it listed and favorited for myself, but you guys can see where it is. All credit to Hooded Horse, which is the, not the developer, they are essentially the label, I can't think of the name right now for some odd reason, of the game. So, yeah, you can check it out here if you want a full list of their stuff. They have some really cool, it's a really cool guide to have if you guys, are trying to min-max. You can kind of see what your potentials are when you have a trader coming. You'll be like, okay, what do I want to get? What's the best for me? Should I be saving money for this? All that kind of jazz. Anyways, I appreciate you guys watching. Next video will probably be Cornerstones. I hope you all have a good one. Later.